Edith McClendon, born 1968, is a British murderess who, along with her 17-year-old son John McClendon and his 16-year-old friend Jamie Gray, was involved in a triple murder at a flat, dubbed the House of Blood. Convicted thief, prostitute and homeless drifter Edith McClendon was released from prison, where she had served a 9-month sentence for a serious assault. She visited a top-floor flat on Dixon Avenue, in Cross Hill, where her boyfriend David Gillespie, 42, shared with Anthony Coyle, 71, and landlord Ian Mitchell, 67, whom McClendon referred as Pops. An argument erupted between McClendon and Gillespie during a drinking session, which spurred her into stabbing a knife in Gillespie's thighs repeatedly, severing a femoral vein in one thigh that caused him to bleed to death. McClendon panicked and telephoned her son John for help. John arrived with his friend Jamie Gray by taxi. McClendon persuaded Mitchell to pay for their taxi fare. He agreed, mistakenly believing that her son and his friend had come to help Gillespie. When John realized Mitchell was a witness, he fatally stabbed him and kicked his head repeatedly, which caused his brain to bleed heavily. Coyle escaped to his bedroom where he locked himself in. John and Jamie used a drill to remove the door locks and forced their way into the bedroom. Jamie chased and beaten Coyle to death with a golf club. 2 hours later, at approximately 3 a.m., McClendon went to neighbor James Sweeney's house and claimed something had happened at Ian Mitchell's flat. She begged him to check. Sweeney went to the flat and once he saw the state of the hallway, he phoned 999 on his mobile phone. He later revealed to local reporters that walls and floors were covered with blood, which quickly earned the killings a nickname, the House of Blood. When the police and paramedics arrived, they found McClendon alone and clinging to Gillespie's body, screaming at him to wake up. McClendon was formally charged next day, at Glasgow Sheriff Court for the murders. During the investigation, the police speculated McClendon didn't act alone and that there were 2 or 3 strong men involved because, according to a police record during the trial, there was so much blood in the flat that it was impossible to be precise about the details of the violence. 2 weeks later, homeless unit resident Brian Gallagher visited police station to file a claim that his fellow resident, John McClendon, had boasted about the murders the night before. John and Jamie Gray were arrested and formally charged. John McClendon and Jamie Gray appeared at Glasgow High Court. All denied murdering Ian Mitchell, Anthony Coyle, and David Gillespie. During the trial, prosecutor Sean Murphy QC claimed that the victims had been beaten with knives, metal files, a belt, and pieces of wood and hit with a bottle, punched, stabbed and stamped on the head, and had boiling water poured over them. The defendants changed their pleas during the trial. John McClendon admitted he killed Mitchell, Jamie Gray admitted killing Coyle, and Edith McClendon admitted killing Gillespie. McClendon was sentenced to life imprisonment with an understanding that she's expected to serve in prison. John McClendon and Jamie Gray were each given a minimum tariff of 12 years.